Daniel, with this breaking news coming in that he's calling it Strait of Trump, Trump even says that Iran is choking, but Iran openly says that it is ready to escalate the war if necessary. So who is misreading the moment right now? Because both sides, they claim ready, they claim they are prepared. Who is misreading the moment?
Well, there's no doubt that it's President Trump that's misreading. The Iranian side has been very, very clear about where they are and what their positions are and what they're willing to do and what they're not willing to do. And thus far in most of this war, they have pretty much done what they said, and they have refrained from escalating in the kinds of targets that would be the most damaging, hoping that we can avoid escalation. But there is no possibility that they're going to give in. And just take a look at it, because all the stuff that we have done so far with the blockade, with all of the 40 days of attacks that came first, Iran, even though you assassinated some of their leaders, their government is still fully intact. They still have all of their long-range missiles. They still have their nuclear enrichment capacity, and they still have support from their regional allies. You've stopped none of those things. And when President Trump brags that he's destroyed their Navy, no, he has not destroyed their most important Navy, which is those small attack craft, and there are probably thousands of them that he has not touched. And we know that they still have most of their missile capacity intact. They still have their production capacity under the ground, despite what he said. So there's no question that President Trump is misreading this. But the only question is he misreading it, or is he just saying these things out in public, thinking that's going to move the needle? Because he's very keen on doing that in the past, but Iran is not going to give in to just verbal threats. You're going to have to do something, or they're going to hold their side of the strait closed.
Daniel, now that you mention about the war costs that United States is facing, the Pentagon says the war has already cost $25 billion, alongside a push for $1.5 trillion defense budget in future. That's a lot. And the cost, can it raise the stakes for U.S. to now actually exit the war, finally?
Well, yes, there's no question about that, too, because we have used, even aside from the physical cost, it's the cost to our inventories. How many of these high-speed JASSM cruise missiles we've used, how many of the Tomahawk cruise missiles, the THAAD interceptors, the PAC-3 interceptors. Those are the key weapon systems that we have, both offensive and defensive. And according to all reports, we have used a substantial portion of all that we have in our inventories. And if you go back and start doing that again and just using them futile ways on these mountainsides that you can't penetrate, then you literally just throw them away. Now then, if you have any need, say in Europe somewhere with, God forbid, some kind of an action with Russia, or something in Asia with China, we are almost defenseless. And that's the key thing you got to understand. It doesn't matter how many planes, how many aircraft carriers, how many tanks you have, etc. It matters how many weapon systems you have, how much ammunition that you have, how many missiles. And if you don't have enough, it doesn't matter how many carriers you have. It only matters what you can shoot. And that will put us in a really bad place, much more than just the physical cost, though that is also piling up on top of the issues with fertilizer, with helium getting out, all of which has economic impacts, and just feeding people. These things are things that are going to be medium term. That's not even near term, and a lot of these are already baked in. So there's a lot of cost, and every day we delay opening this strait up and ending the war, we increase the cost for us and our allies.
Absolutely, Colonel Davis, and you've raised some very interesting points there. But of course, we'll have to wait and see how the situation develops from here on. But for now, thank you so much for joining us in the broadcast and sharing your insights with us.
Thank you.